This week on the Yoga Dream Journey, there's salsa, we'll also talk business, and Sally bakes cakes.
We all have these things we want to do in our lives. Goals, dreams, aspirations, call it whatever you want. And the earth-shakingly sad fact is, we never take a shot. But I want to invite you to watch me as I take a shot at bettering myself and bettering my life in a raw and unfiltered weekly documentary called The Yoga Dream Journey.
Hello, this is Wednesday, it is day 29, and it is the beginning of week 5. Just got off of work, I have to run around and do a bunch of errands, and then diving into some editing and talking about more of the business stuff of how everything fits together. So Sally bakes cakes, and Sally gets told, "You have really great cakes, why don't you open up your own business?" So she does. She opens up her own business and soon finds out that she hates baking cakes. Now, this is kind of the whole thesis behind a book called The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber, I think, and I'll put a link down in this description. And basically what the thesis of this book is that it's totally ludicrous to think that one person can be 3 people all at the same time. The worker bee who does all the day-to-day stuff, the manager who puts like the systems in place and kind of manages over the worker bee, and then the entrepreneur who is the visionary who has the overall vision and carries everything. And how do you allocate your time in between these 3 people? So when you're first starting out, you're in worker bee mode all the time. And then, you get to manage things and try to put some basic systems in place too. And then, then there's the dreamer, the entrepreneur of trying to figure out how to put everything together. And the danger is that you can't spend too much time in the entrepreneur visionary mode, because if you do, then things get neglected and nothing gets done because you didn't spend any time in worker bee mode. And then if you're not executing it properly like the manager wants you to, then you're spinning your wheels. So it's really tough to balance these 3 people. And that's where I find myself now, is trying to balance these 3 people in worker bee mode. Yeah, I'm editing all the time because that's the point. Like, it's work. It is tons and tons and tons of work. But the point is that it's difficult to try to balance these 3 people and keep pushing on. Hello, this is day 30 of the Yoga Dream Journey. Just got out of work. I feel really great, and I think it's because I've been trying to get more sleep. I'm still behind on work, I have a lot of work to do, but I've decided to really try not to compromise my sleep as much anymore because I feel so great. And yeah. You guys, I have the most interesting story to tell you. This has to do with search engine optimization. Yay! Haha, I tricked you. This is not interesting at all. But for those internet marketing nerds out there, and if you have a YouTube channel or you're thinking about going on to YouTube or doing anything online, SEO, search engine optimization, is extremely important. I am at a crossroads because I'm really thinking about pumping some serious money into doing search engine optimization. I don't know if my money is better spent on Facebook marketing or if it's better spent on search engine optimization. So that means that if somebody in just Google searches for a specific yoga posture or something about yoga, then hopefully one of my videos would come up. Now, that's the crossroads I'm at presently, and this whole manager versus entrepreneur versus worker bee, these 3 things I talked about yesterday, they are at war with one another right now. They are battling each other, and one is saying one thing and one is saying another, because the more time I spend thinking about this, the less time I spend producing. Good morning, it's day 31. It's time to do the work thing. It's Friday. I'm feeling good. Salsa. So good. Because if you're gonna make dinner, you wanna have something to eat while you're making yourself something to eat, right? And there you have it, a lemon serrano salsa with a Cajun chicken thigh topped over a bed of buttery sweet potatoes and squash, all topped with avocado slices. Here is the fantastic thing about pushing yourself really hard. Let's back up. Let's assume you're in high school. It's 9th grade and you think, oh my gosh, how am I gonna do all this work? This is way different than middle school. You've become faster, you've become better, you've become smarter, you've become more efficient. As the years go by, your junior, your senior year, you're doing way more work than you even were doing in your freshman year because you have gotten smarter and, like I said, become more efficient, right? It's like that saying, necessity is the mother of invention. And it is so true because I produce those 3 yoga classes a week. I'm producing this, the Yoga Dream Journey. And then now on top of that, I want to start to build out my website so that I have more traffic coming into YouTube and my website and everything to really start to build out my platforms. That's what it's all about, building out your platform, right? The fact is that a website is a major part of that. I could think, oh my gosh, I'm barely able to do all this stuff now. How could I also start to really effectively build out my website at the same time? And the fact is that I need to. Period. I absolutely need to. The invention will come, and really part of that is just forcing yourself to become better and more efficient at what you do. I'm starting to spend less time producing the weekly episodes just because I'm getting better at doing them. I'm becoming more efficient at doing this, the Yoga Dream Journey, this weekly documentary, and then that is now allowing me more time because I need to build out my website, and that absolutely will happen. Saturday afternoon, just got off of work, time to eat some pho. So today was definitely a different kind of day. A lot of my time was spent theorizing and strategizing on exactly how I'm going to be building out my website. It's not so much the how as to what. You know, it's the internet, right? You would think that on the internet, you would be able to research and find out any and everything you need to know about any sort of given posture. The sad fact is, this actually does not exist. There's not one page, one website you can go to that gives a very broad, yet also specific, overreaching, in-depth explanation of any sort of given yoga posture. It's stratified, it's scattered, and my goal is going to be to try to bring all of this into some sort of set page. Good morning, getting all set up, ready to record here, and what's great is that I'm going to do Warrior 3 today because I'm actually awake, alive, and ready to rock and roll. Warrior 3, kind of a harder pose to go through, and yeah, it's nice because I feel like doing it. I'm more awake, more alive. I've been picking easier postures to kind of fire through, so that's what it's going to be this week. Well, next week, at some point, you will see Warrior 3 on the channel. So right now I'm on my way to do a workshop at the studio where I teach. Community is a very big part of being a teacher at a studio, so I've been missing out on a couple things there recently, so I definitely need to try and make that happen. Really, I've been thinking a lot about how I'm going to outsource all of this content creation that I need to have done for my website. I mean, I can definitely do a good amount of it, but I'm gonna start looking on some freelancing sites and seeing how I can put all this together. Took care of a bunch of editing this morning. Now it's time to go have lunch with a friend and discuss some things about yoga and just further my knowledge and catch up with an old friend. What's going on, everybody? You know what time it is? It is red shirt pasta time. That's right, ain't no stains gonna get me down. Woo! Last night I talked about the logistics of outsourcing things and content creation and how I'm going to put that together. There's another side to that, and that is money. Like, how am I going to pay to have these things outsourced when my budget is so tight as is? And naturally, I'm subsidizing everything. I'm making zero money off of Yoga New Mexico, which is fine, but you know, it blah 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 blah. Rainy day in Albuquerque today. Also had a few meetings with people and really just kind of friends catching up on stuff, shooting ideas around about trying to grow my platform on my website. So life's good. That is our episode for the week. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know what you thought. This was a little bit different this week because talking more about the business side of everything. If you are not following me on Facebook, Instagram, hit me up there because I still keep the story going on those platforms as well. Thank you guys so much. You are all amazing, beautiful, rock star, tubular, bodacious, far out human beings. Thanks for being here. I love you guys. Take care.